Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. My name is Fiona Pramudya. I'm the student of Faculty of Medicine at Sultan Agung Islamic University, Semarang, Indonesia. Okay, as we may know, a randomized control trial on or RCT are the gold standard study design that's used to evaluate the safety and effectiveness of healthcare intervention. And today, I'm going to read an RCT article entitled E-cigarette nicotine delivery among young adults by nicotine form, concentration, and flavor, a conserved randomized control trial. That using the concert checklist 2010. I have divided my presentation into 4 parts. And first, I'm going to find the item of the concert checklist of the title, abstract, and also the introduction. After that, I'm going to find the item of the concert checklist by result in the RCT article. And then I'm going to find the item of the concert checklist in the discussion section. And finally, I will summarize my presentation. Okay, first of all, I will identification about the title using SPICED. In this title, I find that population is young adult, intervention is about e-cigarette, the design is randomized, but I cannot find about the setting, condition, and also endpoint. Okay, next, we will move to the title. I find the title and I can identify the title as a randomized trial in this title. Next, in this abstract, it's divided into several parts: importance, objective, design, setting, and participant, main outcome and measurement, result, conclusion and relevance, and also trial registration. Okay, as we can see in this design, setting, and participant, I also find about the date defining the period of recruitment about this journal. It's from December 2021 to August 2023. Okay, next. In this trial registration, it also find about the registration number, and the name of trial registrations, the clinical trials, the GOV, and CD 054588895. Okay, next, we will move to the introduction section. In the first until third paragraph about introduction section, it explains about scientific background and also explanation. Next, at the end of the 5 paragraph in this introduction, I find about the specific objective and also hypothesis. It's written that hypothesize that nicotine salt versus free-base nicotine, high versus low nicotine concentration, and menthol versus tobacco flavor would result in high nicotine uptake, more positive subject effect rating, and more intense vaping behavior. Okay. I have told you about the item. It's a title, then abstract, and also introduction. Okay, we will move to the method section. About the participant. In the first sentence of the paragraph, I find about description of the trial design. This journal trial design that use a crossover randomized clinical trial. And the next, I also find about the registration number. And the next sentence, it's about eligibility criteria for participant. it divided into inclusion and also exclusion. The eligible participant inclusion is someone who had a cigarette daily for the past 3 months, and they were willing to abstain for nicotine product for at least 12 hours, and they were willing to complete the study protocol in either 5 or 9 laboratory visits. And the exclusion criteria were someone who self-report diagnosis of lung disease, cardiac event, or cardiac distress within the past 3 months. And two, who current a planned pregnancy or breastfeeding. Three, they use tobacco product or cannabis on 10 days or more in the past month. And the last, they someone who attempt to quit vaping. In this participant section, I also find about the setting location where the data was enrolled. It is in the Ohio State University. Okay, we will move to the design and material section. I find in this section, I find the type of randomized, that single blind randomized within participant and also crossover design with use. And also in the first paragraph, it contained about intervention for each group, 9 vaping session. In the first session, each participant vape their own e-cigarette brand. And the other session until 8th session, the vape use a study e-liquid in random order using the same study e-cigarette device. And also the last sentence in the first paragraph, it contains about how sample was determined. Okay, let's move to the procedure. In this procedure, I find about who generated the randomized allocation. It used online screener. And also it contained about the intervention for each group with sufficient detail. The eligible was verified via telephone. The participant baseline visit was scheduled, and they were asked to abstain for nicotine for at least 12 hours. And participants who reportedly a minimum of 12 hours abstain for nicotine had exhaled carbon monoxide level up 10 ppm or lower and were not pregnant processed with the vaping session. In the second paragraph, in the procedure section, I also find about the intervention for each group. And I also find about a mechanism that used to implement the random allocation sequence. The study e-liquid were administrating in a random sequence generated by statistician AH and remain blinding to participants. Okay, next, we will move to the statistical analysis. In this statistical analysis section, in the first paragraph, it contained about a completely divided pre-specific primary and secondary outcome measurement. It's written that the primary analysis of plasma, measurement of plasma nicotine level, subjective effect, puffing, topography, and nicotine gravity. But the additional analysis, they include an interaction between nicotine form and concentration. And the second paragraph, it contains about the method that used to generate the randomized allocation. The analyses were conducted using SAS version 9.4. Okay, that's all. And I will move to the results section. And first, we will move to participant characteristic. In this paragraph, I find about method for additional analysis And also for each group, the number of participants that randomly added. It's written that 87 participants were included in the study, 51 female and 36 male, means age 22, and 4 were black, 6 were Hispanic, 68 were white, and 9 other race and ethnic or multiracial. Okay, next, we will move to the plasma and nicotine level. In this section of paragraph, I find about primary and secondary outcome, and also about the result of any other analysis. The result about the analysis, it's reveal a significant interaction between nicotine form and concentration, with 5% salt-based nicotine delivered the highest mean level of nicotine. And we will move to subjective evac section. In the subjective evac section, it contains both a primary and secondary outcome. It's written that 1% nicotine salt did 1% nicotine concentration and mental flavor or result in higher rating for wanting, liking, enjoyment, pleasure, and satisfaction. In this table 1, it contains about a baseline demographic and also clinical characteristic for each group. Next, we will move to puffing topography section. In the first paragraph, it contains both a primary and also secondary outcome. It result more intensive puffing, yielding 25% more total puff, 5% longer mean puff duration, 11% large mean volume per puff, and 9% large total puff volume. And it explained in the figure 1 about plasma nicotine level by nicotine form and concentration. Okay, next. In urges and craving section, I find about primary and also secondary outcome. Okay, well, I have told you about the method and also result section. Okay, we will move to the discussion section. It is in the second paragraph, in the first sentence in the discussion section, I find about important harms about this study. It's written that nicotine salt paired with a 5% nicotine concentration. Its common modern e-cigarette in the US exhibited a particular high abuse liability. And I also find about the limitation that the study has limitation for the first may not generalize to people who smoke, given that nicotine salt and free-base nicotine show no different in nicotine pharmacokinetic, subjective evac, and puffing topography among people who smoke. And about the conclusion section, it contains interpretation consistent with result. The result is salt-based versus free-base nicotine in liquid. It's increased nicotine intake and yielded more positive subjective effect rating in intense puffing behaviors. Also, menthol versus tobacco flavor yielded more positive subjective effect rating. The findings suggest that nicotine salt plays a significant role in increased nicotine depending among young people who vape. In the article information section, I find about a full trial protocol. It published on August 9, 2024, open access In the term of the CCBY licensing, JAMA network open. And also I find about sources of funding or support. In the study was funding by grant, Wi-Fi and Air 343549007 from the American Heart Association. Okay. In conclusion, we can find about 15 items in the concert checklist. It is journal. Okay. This is conclusion about my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.